Okay, we're back again for the detail. The only thing I did is I cleaned up my cast shadows a little bit quickly because I needed to stand in front of it to see that I kind of messed up this one again, and I kind of messed up that bottom of that, so I fixed it. Again, standing straight in front of it, not at an angle. Alright, so I'm more happy with the background, kind of atmospheric, kind of moody. I like that. So let's go in now and start to, we're just going to use this kind of dollar store pencils, erasers that go on top of a pencil for kids. I like those. A nice pointy charcoal and some other drawing medium. So basically now we're just going to go in and do detail. So I'm going to go in with my eraser, this eraser, and any eraser you can get to go pointy. And I'm going to start to remove my highlights and negotiate them to my mid-tones and really start to make it look like glass. And this is where it's important to get all the undertones done first. That's why I did that, so that you can see that now the last step is bringing in these bright lights. So I've got this, and it's almost too bright already, too quickly. The overall thing is not that bright, so I'm going to go back in and negotiate, like darkening that down, darkening it here, because what I've got happening on this is a little bit lighter, a little darker, I mean, that's lighter. The brightest light on the edge here is right there. If you can't get the bright of the paper to come back, you can always use white, that's what it's there for. But once you use white, you'll see that it changes things, and you'll have to use the white all over the drawing. Unless there's one piece of glass that's a different, if it's a whitish glass, you might be able to pull that off with using the white. Alright, now I need to drag in and take this is where all your erasers will work for you. I have to create a light source here, so I'm going to use my kneaded eraser with a nice point. And it comes down, and I'm letting it do the work for me. I'm dragging it in there, and I'm stepping back, and I like that. I do, however, need a little bit here, and I can use my charcoal pencil just to indicate that I don't want to lose that edge, so I want to work with another lost found contour edge. And I'm going to go with my charcoal here, and I have this beautiful dark that comes in right there. And I don't want to mess with it too much. And then on here, on this side, I have another, because there's a bright light and there's another bright light right there. So I need to grab that bright light, drag it out, and down below it, there's almost like a little dot of light. I'm going to put it right there, negotiate their edges so that they sit in and not completely on top. And then I have some beautiful bright light right here, and this is the Mars eraser. I'm going to take it and I'm going to draw with it, and I'm going to remove the absolutely bright, and try to shape it the way I see it, and just drag it down and let go. Drag it down and let it go. Negotiate its edges. If it's sharp, leave it sharp. If it's soft, leave it soft. See how it's starting to sit on top? That's what you're looking for, because now all that dark shading you did is now the background. So it's weird the way you have to do glass. Hutchinson explains it quite well too, a little bit differently than I. Whoever you can work with. As I've said before, once you go through your art education, all different teachers are going to teach you different things, and a lot of times it's years later when you step back and go, oh, Professor Hendricks taught me that. Now I understand why. Sometimes you immediately get it. Sometimes you're like, I don't understand, but okay. And then later on you're like, oh, I understand why. So always listen to everyone's point of view, because every artist is different. I need a little more dark here, so I'm just going to drag it in with my finger. So I made it too light. I'm quite happy with that. This is a little too blunt, so I'm going to darken it with my finger again and renegotiate that edge. It may not even need to be that bright, because it doesn't, actually. what has to be brighter is there's a light door and there's a light right there, and then I'm going to negotiate it down. I'm happy with that actually right now, with a little bit of dark. I'm trying to stay out of the way. There we go. Right there. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Alright, now we've got to come down here and make this vase stop right at its bottom and still look like this is the outer glass. So we'll continue with the Mars eraser, and we'll take this light source that's right here, and we will bring it down, and we will stop right about there. And we will just negotiate it in, and it does it again here. It does it again right here. Now on this vase, it's catching through here. There's this intense amount of light comes right through here, and I have this beautiful light source right here that happens, and I just kind of want to draw it and see what happens if I leave it, and I get an intense bright light right there. I want to see what happens if I just draw them in. They work and they don't work, so let's negotiate them better to the surface. I think this one needs to have some darks back in there again. And I need to get a little darker right there. And again, this is that play of light starks, and this is going to drag over top. I'm going to try to clean this eraser head so I get a nice light dark. And I think I'm happier with that now. There's a little bit of light going on right there. And let's look at it. Alright, that's pretty good for now. I mean, I can come back and fudge it if I have time. But that's pretty good. Let's go to this little guy now. Now this little guy has really intense, especially right here, some really beautiful light darks going on. Let's see if we can define them for you. There is a dark here I need to bring back, and this is definitely where I need one of these little erasers, because I need to pull this little shape off like that. I need to pull some light right here, and again I'm dragging it down and around to reinforce the roundness of that glass. This is good. I like that. I like this. There's a bright light right there. This is falling off. So I need, again, to keep working this one. Comes in, and it like has a little divot of light. Dark goes in, and light comes through. It does it again here. There's a little light source, and then a darker light source, or lighter light. Very bright, less bright light source right there. And again, this is where I probably need my pencil, because I have a little bit of a line coming through here, very subtle, that catches the edge of the glass. I just messed that up. I'll fix it. There we go. Let's go back in. Right back. I want to erase this edge. And I don't actually want, I'm going to get some dark on my fingers. I want to just, I need to go. This is not a bright, it's there, but it's like dots almost. It's kind of interesting. So I want to darken it and then almost lighten it in just little spots if I can. My eraser is not cooperating today. There we go. That's better. Okay? So that's actually, I'm quite happy with that. Now we got to work on this base. There's some really beautiful dark back here from this interesting fractured light that comes through on the ground. I'm going to make sure that comes right up to this stem and disappears. Comes right up to the back of the base, goes out. Now I need to go back in and control that shape right there. gonna go with the eraser. That's better. That's better. Alright. There is interesting lights and darks coming up and down that little stem. And some darks and lights coming along here. And here. I'm gonna go here and here with it. Kind of goes up and down that. Thickness of the glass itself. And then I'm going to try to get this to behave if I can. There we go. We got some bright, bright, bright lights right there. And then we've got a really beautiful bright light in a half circle. And that's not doing it, so let's see if this will do it. There we are. Okay. Then we got some bright lights there. And I'm actually, some of these erasers I'm just going to leave because I kind of like them. Some of them I'm going to merge in, but I like that, so I'm going to leave it. Alright, so we're walking over now to this big guy and getting this one to work. This one has a lot going on in there, so we got to control our light sources and our darks. It needs to be a little darker in here, so let's bring it in. We've lost the control. We've lost control of the top. Trying to work out the background. We have another dark as I'm looking. Another one of these patterns comes in at an angle there and just comes in at an angle here, so we're going to bring those in. Right. Then we're going to go in with our eraser. I'll try this one. I'm going to try to clean it on my pants. There we are. So it's clean again. And we're going to go in. And we have a very bright light right there. Right there. We have a secondary light source there. And there. It's kind of where the glass lifts up. There's some fracturing of light there. It goes right over top of that patterning I just worked on to get it in. But I need to get the light. The light has to be right in the glass study. I need to control this here. So I'm going to go in with my charcoal pencil. Just a little. I want another one of those lost found contours. Don't want a heavy line. I want a line that merges away and comes back up. Graphic drawing is a heavy line. We'll do that in 2D and drawing 2. But in charcoal drawing, rarely do you want it to happen. Occasionally. Okay, so we want to negotiate this to make sense there. I need it a little darker there. I need it to be controlled right there. And now I'm going to go in and pull light back. Because I have some incredibly bright lights right there. I have some bright lights going on right there. I have some going down right there, right here, and down. And I need to make those happen to get those lights and darks. I think that's working good. Right there, you'll see it. Then at the same time, I've got those bright lights, but I've got some trapped darks. Just subtle ones, almost like a line that dissipates into the body of the piece. Again, here, dissipates into the body of the piece. Right through that dark, those brights. So I may have to go back and pull some of that bright back out. That's fine, we can do that. Okay, that's looking good. This has got to get fixed. I have to have a sharp line or a sharp element on that front lip of the base. Once you pull that off, you can almost screw up all the rest of it. It'll make sense to the viewer. So let's pull that back out again. It's kind of shaded a little bit in the front, so I can leave it a little dark. I need to get under here though and put some more darks in. There we are. There we go. Okay. And I need to pull this out again. Again. And here. Define just a little bit. I'm not happy with that. It kind of looks mushied up. Is that better? That's pretty good. Okay. Now let's go in. The front of this face is darker. Like kind of like this one. So we're going to bring it in, make it darker. And now, pretty much now, I think Sites for dealing a little bit with that shadow, which I left unattended and earlier. I think we're going to go in now and just try to define lights. There's a light source that comes down on the edge of this face, and we just need to pull it out and find the edge of the vase again because we kind of lost it. And it flattens out right here. There we go. It's a little better. And I lost my eraser. Alright. That's good. Alright, so there's another bright light. It comes right through here. It's going to sit right on top. So if we get it right, probably not going to fudge with it much because it is sitting right on top of everything else. So if it cuts through, good. That's what we want. And it kind of sharply comes down and stops right here. So we're going to try to go up and see if we can pull that off. Yes. There we are. And then it fractures down this way. And let's see if I pulled that off. Oh, pretty good. There's a little detail. If we have time, we got to get back to. Now, here, a lot less light is going on here. There's a few things that are subtler. And I want to make sure this merges nicely. This might be where we go back. 10 minutes. Alright, we got to get moving. Alright, so we got to finish this face up. Now we have, because again, the light source is here. We have these beautiful lights and darks going on the edge of this face. So we got to bring those in. And whenever you have trouble with this, especially because this one, the glass can be some of the trickiest, try to get as good a photo as you can, couple if you need to, and do some detail shots if you have to get in, if you're really having trouble with spots. And you can bring them to the help sessions, or you can email them to me, and I will, if you email them to me the night before, I can get them printed out before you come in or when you come in. Again, I can only print black and white, but that's all we need, and it will actually help you out to have it just black and white. So that we can get in there and really help, and I can help you with how to get your light source and your darks back in. I needed to break that straight line. It didn't like it. It destroyed its ability to go around. So now I need to go in and put a little dark in so that I can drag a light source right like this. There we go. That's better. Alright, now I just got to get this base in. I'm pretty happy with this light, with this shading. Now here we talked about it's got these flatten out, and the light catches it and creates these interesting kind of spherical things. So I want to see if I can pull that off. I'm going to put a little more dark in there. You've got to come into that cast shadow even more. Okay, fracture. Alright. Okay, so let's see if we can pull that off. I'm not sure which I should use. I'll try this first and see if it works. needs to get a little darker before we try that technique. So we're just going to smooth that a little more. Bring some more darks in. It's brighter on that side, darker on this side. We're going to go around with that all the way into its cast shadow. Now we're going to try that. Okay. And clean this eraser on my pants. There we are. And it flew off. I'm going to try this one. It's pointier. It's got a nice point because it's a newer eraser. I haven't erased it flat yet. So let's try that. Oh yeah, that's better. And we're getting that nice kind of light dark that goes on. And then it just does this here. And it's exactly what it's doing. It's so funny. It's quite beautiful. And catching it is important in this drawing. I need to go in and I take that and get rid of it. I need to go in and define there. I need some bright lights right there. I need some really bright lights right there. Right there. Right there. Catches a lot of light right here. Because again, that light source is right there. And then I need another beautiful light source. This is going to shade out that way. And then I need another bright right there. Very bright right there. It goes up here. It fractures into that right there. I'm going to see how that works when I step back. And I need to indicate that, and that. Am I happy with that? I don't know. Let's see. Let's step back. Oh, that's pretty good. It's not perfect, but for the time I have, it's not bad. I need to, this I think got a little crazy, so I want to try to reshape it, because it is still shaped. It's just a lot of light is going on, and you lose the shape of things. Because it warps the shape a little. But I want to make sure the vase still has a nice shape, even with the fractured light. How's that? Is that good? Oh yes. And then I need to, just before I'm done, gotta touch this right here. Bring it in. And hit that with a really bright light. Here, 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 and here.
5 minutes.
Alright. I think we're good though. So I think we did it in time. Let's step back and look at it. Alright, I'm happy with that. So this is glass, 3 glass shapes on a dark brown. So we did contour, shading in, and then removal, pretty much all removing for detail layer. Alright? Any questions?